Hey guys, welcome to the Asking Us Show, episode number 56. And today I'm going to be talking about where I think SEO and content marketing is headed in the future. Stick around. Much for joining me. So I wanted to have a really quick discussion, I think, around where I think SEO and content marketing is headed. Now, I obviously believe that voice is going to be the coming revolution, and how we search for things is going to be huge now, which is already, we can already see stats and data to suggest that the voice is already being, the voice revolution is already unfolding. But I think I want to talk about it from a couple of different directions as well. Obviously, businesses have always had logos and banners to easily identify them, and slogans like Nike's "Just Do It," right? So I think a lot the age-old marketing has always been through sort of that sort of visual recognition of brands. I think coming in the future, a lot of the recognition of brands will also be audible. And I think voice is also powerful, not just from a Google Home search perspective of where I think SEO is going directly, but I think from a business and content marketing wide point of view as well. So from a Google voice perspective, rather than when people are going to talk about, getting found on Google or getting clicked on in Google, I think eventually going to become getting listened to on Google, right? And if we want to ask a question, for example, how do I clean my granite bench top? Or how do I clean a fridge? Or what are the best ways to clean my shower? Or, whatever tips I'm be. Like right now, I'm struggling to clean my Dyson vacuum, right? And pull the head out and clean all the dust and junk and hair from the head of the vacuum. So how do I actually disassemble it and actually reattach it? Or what are some tips to prevent the vacuumings from clogging up and things like that? So endless amounts of how-tos, what's, the who, what, where, and why. I think that's going to be a huge part of voice. I don't think it's the only part of voice, obviously, but where you would actually come up in a voice through Google Home, I think will obviously largely depend on, for a while, things may change, but for a while, I think it's going to largely depend on if you rank well in the Google search results, in the standard web search results. I think you will probably rank and probably be heard when someone asks the same sort of thing. So building long form content makes sense now, it makes sense tomorrow, and it makes sense well into the future. So understanding what your target market is searching for and tips to improve their knowledge on a certain topic, or just content to educate, to entertain is going to be huge in the future as well as right now. And building content is just the gateway of getting into the digital world. And I just put up a quote now on LinkedIn. It's still sort of alarming that people aren't creating long form content, and even really aren't even creating content in general when we speak to some businesses, and their excuse is, I don't have time. Well, that's like turning up to a nightclub and being asked to dance and your reply is, I don't feel like it, right? It doesn't make any sense. Where you are, you should, if you've entered the game, this is sort of what you sort of need to be doing, either you or paying someone to actually help you implement it. So building long form content for voice is really important, and I think whether you get heard or someone else gets heard will largely depend upon the authority that this content has, very similar to its existing algorithm. So not going too much into that, but I think the importance of well-written, so obviously because we speak English, a very well-written English orientated, like no problems with grammar and punctuation and things like that, like making sure that the article is actually written really well, clear and concise, is going to also play into, you getting, if Google can actually understand it from an audio point of view, is also very important, like Google understanding your images and things like that. So understanding how your content is laid out, and then the authority of that content will play a large part in getting your business heard when someone asks for something over your competitors. And I think second, I think the podcast revolution is well underway and has been underway for a long time. I remember hearing podcasts for many, many years, and I think in the last, I would say, year and a half to 2 years, it's really exploded in popularity. I mean, when I heard about podcasts probably 8 years ago, it was sort of just something you heard in passing. You know, every now and then you might hear it. Now it's like you hear podcasts a lot more frequent. And I think going back to what I said originally, you know, brands need to have an identity in an audible way. So I believe that every single business needs a podcast, and how you develop that content is really creative. And that's probably going to be in another video. Like, what can you do for your podcast? I know for me, one of my favorite tips is converting a lot of my you know, you don't need to actually see like a whiteboard as such, but even those, they are converted to MP3 and uploaded to SoundCloud and iTunes. So having that content that I would have otherwise created through YouTube and then distributing it on audio platforms has actually helped me get like 3,000 listens in the last, I think, 12 months or something like that. So, you know, relatively not very hard to do, but actually building exclusive content for podcasts, I think, is very, very important. But at the very least, do what I'm doing. But I definitely have plans to sort of build up a podcast and really just have conversations with other SEOs and other marketers and other business people, because I just love this topic and not just trying to be another podcast, but trying to bring something different and unique to the table. I think that's absolutely paramount. I mean, how we communicate with brands is going to play more and more of an important role. And what I'm actually seeing now is that, you know, a lot of people, they would rather go with a brand that they don't know of if that customer service is there and if that communication regularly is there. And I think the whole social media has changed the landscape for so many businesses to allow the smaller businesses or the smaller players actually climb up the ranks faster through their over like kill customer service, like right in your face. They always want to talk to you. You leave a message, they reply back straight away. And I think this has obviously given them, the communicating with brands is powerful through your podcast, through your comments, and, you know, continuously engaging with your audience as much as possible is huge, where I think SEO and content marketing is going in the future. How Amazon will tackle the whole voice thing is quite interesting. I'm still learning exactly how they're going to go about doing that. I don't have all my ducks in a row just yet. Obviously, I have a skill already on Amazon that I've just sort of put together using their template-based skill system, and that it was just like every week there was just like an SEO tip that was delivered. I think the Amazon is a great platform. I think how they're going to structure their platform is based upon you subscribing to skills so you can listen to the content. So when you type in, you know, time management skills, you know, so you want to improve your time management or email management skills, and you get like 10 skills shown, how are they actually going to organize who's first and who's 10th? Or if there's 50 skills around a topic, who's going to rank first and who's going to rank 50th? Obviously, they're going to have an algorithm that determines quality. How is that algorithm actually going to work? It's sort of going to evolve over time. But the more brand awareness that you have through your SEO, the more likely through your website you can actually link to your skill and drive traffic. That's why the websites are still so powerful to even drive your audience to the different platforms that will evolve in the future. Beg your pardon. And I think Amazon is going to ultimately be huge, where people are just going straight to Amazon and going looking and searching for skills and you being found there. But in the meantime, you know, having a skill ready and developed will put you ahead of the pack. If you can do that now and this year, by the end of the year, have some sort of skill in the repository already, I think that's going to help you a lot going forward. Now, obviously, the quality of that content that you create on Amazon will obviously determine how far you go. But just getting started with a skill is going to put you in front of so many other businesses. And, you know, it was like 10 years ago with social media, that just being a fad. You know, like social media is not, it's just, what is it like? I remember people talking about Twitter on the train when I'm coming home from work, and it's just like, what is this Twitter thing, you know? I think largely it's going to be the next social media in many ways, but I think right now it's got a lot of development. But if you can get on that train now and learn Amazon skill and learn about the voice revolution, set up a podcast, I think that's going to help you get to the next level and allow you to sort of get more reach today, as well as keeping one eye into the future. So guys, that's what I'm going to be talking about now in part 1. Please let me know what you would like me to talk about in part 2, or what different ideas and suggestions you have in the comment section below. And I look forward to speaking with you in the next video. Stick around, stay tuned, subscribe, like, share, follow, do it all. And I'll see you very, very soon.